What's up, beautiful people? If you are new here, I'm Imelda, and in today's video we're making this yummy Okongobong, so keep watching. For this recipe we'll be needing a couple of ingredients, which include of course Okongobong, some pumpkin seeds, which is Egusi. This is what it looks like if it's not blended. So we have the blended one and the unblended, just to clarify. So yeah, that's a blended Egusi. And the next ingredient is my smoked pork. You can use any obstacles, we call it obstacle. You can use meat, fish. So I have smoked pork and some smoked fish. We'll be needing some crayfish, some Maggi cubes, habanero pepper, some salt. This is my ginger and garlic paste, some vegetable oil, and some onions. I'm sure I showed that much earlier. So in my pot, I'll pour some vegetable oil, and when it's a bit hot, I added my salt and follow in with my onions to saute for some few minutes, about 3 minutes. And after 3 minutes, I added my chopped tomatoes and left it in the pot for about 10 minutes for the water to kind of drain from the tomatoes. When I was growing up, I learned from my mom that when cooking your tomatoes, you need to cook it so that the water should kind of drain out from the tomatoes. That way your tomato is not going to get sour. So that's what I'm doing here. Then I just covered my pot and allowed the tomatoes to cook. You can leave your pot open. And moving to the next, in my stock where I boiled the pork, I then added my egusi, my pumpkin seed, to cook it for about 30 minutes. With egusi, you need to be careful because if it's not well cooked, you can really have running stomach. So to avoid that, you have to make sure your egusi is well cooked. So this, after 30 minutes, this is what it looks like. And you have to be careful with the pot you are using. I'm using a non-sticky pot, so it didn't get burned. But with most pots, if you are not very careful, your egusi can really get burned. And going to our tomatoes, you can see it's that dry. And the next ingredient I'll be adding to the pot is my crayfish. I said this before, I love adding crayfish in hot oil because it really gives that flavor, and I believe it adds an extra taste to your food. And guys, in here it was already smelling heavenly. So I just gave that a stir, and then allow it to saute for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then after 3 minutes, I added my cooked egusi. So I just blend everything and also allow it again to kind of everything to marinate for about 5 minutes. And after 5 minutes, I then went in with my ginger and garlic paste, with my Maggi cubes, my habanero pepper. I gave that a stir to mix everything, to kind of incorporate all the ingredients, you know, to give it that smooth mix. Then I went ahead to taste if my salt and Maggi was okay. And at that point, I thought it was okay. But if it's not okay, then you can add. I allow that again to marinate or cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. And then I added the leftover crayfish. Give it a stir. In this recipe, there's a lot of stirring. Give that a stir and allow it again to kind of cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. You have to be careful with the kind of pot you are using. This pot is non-sticky, but if you have a pot that is sticky, egusi really gets really gets sticky on the pot, and which might lead to burning. And after that, I'm now adding all my meat and my fish. Again, I'll just mix everything, then allow it to cook for about 5 more minutes, so that the egusi sauce and the meat, everything has to cook together to kind of bring out the taste from the meat, you know. Yeah. I love Okongobong. I love it in my okra. I love it as a stir-fry vegetable. Sometimes when I make porridge fruit as well, I just add it inside when I don't have bitter leaf. It's my substitute. I will then cover my pot again and then allow it to cook for about 10 minutes. And after 10 minutes, this is what it looks like. So from at this point, my egusi in total has been cooking for more than 50 minutes. So most people say, oh, what I grew up, when cooking egusi, you have to make sure your egusi is on fire for at least an hour in order for you to prevent running stomach. And at this point, I'll be adding my okongobong into this into the egusi sauce. You don't have to, what I do is that I don't add everything at once. I add it in little batches. So I've added the first part, I'll mix it, and if I feel like okay, I still need to add more, then I will continue with that. So I'm just mixing, incorporating the vegetable into the pumpkin seed sauce or the egusi sauce. And at this point, I felt like, no, I need to add more. So I'm adding again the second part. And this is fresh okongobong. In case you have a dry okongobong, what you can do is that you can soak it in water, either the night before you preparing it or the same day, maybe much earlier in the day, or you put it in hot water and just take it out immediately. So again, after mixing the vegetable and the sauce together, this is what it looks like. I'll be eating this with some plantains. You can eat it with fufu, you can eat it with anything of your choice. And I was also tasting if everything was okay, like the seasoning, and I felt like it was okay. And you have to be careful with salt when cooking this egusi soup or salt. Yeah, okongobong is not a French salt, so you can get really salty. So this is how it came out. Yummy, we enjoyed it, and this is my portion where I was going to be tasting it. It was really yummy. The pepper is for me because everyone in this house don't eat pepper except me. And that is it, guys. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and see you in my next video.